PTE Grammar Rules. English grammar is one of the most difficult and stressful subjects for many people and many students, as it has many confusing and complicated rules. However, grammar plays a very important role in the question types in PTE exam, such as summary written text, essay writing, reading fill the blank, reading and writing fill the blanks, reorder paragraph, summarize spoken text, and of course, write from dictation. It took me four attempts to finally get my desired score of 79 plus in all sections. I bought and read so many grammar books when I prepared for my PTE examination, so you don't have to if you watch my video. I have made a video series of PTE grammar rules that you must know if you want to achieve your PTE target score. Currently, I have made 15 videos of grammar rules and continuing to be updated on my channel. So you might consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done it yet. Each video consists of explanation and examples of each grammar rule to make sure that you will be able to apply these rules in your PTE exam or not. I will make each video and explain each grammar rule in my own words so that it will be clear and very easy to understand. And of course, I will make each video as short and sweet as possible, straight to the point, no fluff, because I know that you don't have much time. In this unit, I'm going to explain you about the ing clauses. He hurt his knee playing football. This is very important and it's very useful. It's very important grammar rule that you have to understand. You have to know how it works so that you can answer reading and writing fill the blanks or reading fill the blank correctly, and then you're gonna get your desired score, whether it's 50 plus, 65 plus, or 79 plus. Now let's see together the first section, section A. Study this example. Kate is in the kitchen, she's making coffee. So Kate is in the kitchen and then she's making coffee. You can say Kate is in the kitchen making coffee. You see, making coffee is ing clause to explain that Kate is in the kitchen and also she is making coffee. You can use ing in this way when two things happen at the same time. For example, a man ran out of the house shouting. So he ran out of the house and also he was shouting. So we can use a man ran out of the house shouting, ing clause. Do something, don't just stand there doing nothing. And the last one, be careful crossing the road, be careful crossing the road. I tell you that we can use ing when two things happen at the same time. We also use ing when one action happens during another action. When one action happens during another action, we can use ing clause. Joe hurt his knee playing football. So Joe hurt his knee, and then while he was playing football. Did you cut yourself shaving? What does this mean? This sentence means, did you cut yourself while you were shaving? And also, you can say while doing something and when doing something as well. Joe hurt his knee while playing football. Or be careful when crossing the road. Be careful when you are crossing the road. I hope you understand the section A. Now let's move on to the section B. When one action happens before something else, we use having done for the first action. Having done. Done in this case, I mean we have to use verb 3 or past participle. Having found a hotel, we looked for somewhere to eat. I tell you that one action happens before something else. We have to find a hotel first and then we look for somewhere to eat. Having found a hotel, then we looked for somewhere to eat. Having finished her work, she went home. So finish work first and then she went home. You see, found is the verb 3. Finished is verb 3 or past participle. You can also say after plus ing, like the previous unit that we learned together. After finishing her work, she went home. So you have two possibilities now, having finished her work or after finishing her work. But these structures are used more in written English than spoken. When we begin a sentence with having plus verb 3 or after plus ing, we write a comma after this part of the sentence, so be careful. Having finished her work, comma here, she went home. Or after finished her work, comma, she went home. Now let's have a look at the last section, the section C. You can also use ing to explain something or to say why somebody does something. The sentence usually begins with ing. For example, feeling tired, I went to bed early. Because I felt tired, that's why I went to bed early than usual. So you see here, feeling tired is ing clause. To explain something or to say why somebody does something, to explain why I went to bed early, I tell you that feeling tired. Being unemployed, he doesn't have much money. Because he is unemployed, he doesn't have job, he doesn't have much money as a result. Not having a car, she finds it difficult to get around. Because she doesn't have a car, it's very difficult for her to go somewhere. We use having done, having plus verb 3 for something that is complete before something else. Having seen the film twice, comma, I didn't want to see it again. Having seen the film already 2 times, that's why I didn't want to watch again for the 3rd time. And then these structures are used more in written English than in spoken English. And when we begin a sentence with ing, like feeling tired, not knowing, having seen, or etc., we need to write a comma as well after this part of the sentence we already seen before. Not knowing what to do, comma, I called my friend to ask for advice. Because I didn't know what to do, that's why I called my friend to ask for her advice. So to make sure that we all understand this unit ing clauses, we should do some exercises together. Let's do number 1. Choose from box A and box B to make sentences. Use ing. So we have the example number 1. Kate was in the kitchen in the box A, and then we match with she was making coffee, and it's become like Kate was in the kitchen making coffee. You see, the sentence in the box B become ing clause. So let's try the question number 2. Amy was sitting in an armchair. Amy was sitting in an armchair. What do you think we have to pick for Amy was sitting in an armchair? In the box B, we have to choose reading a book. So it becomes reading a book. Reading a book. This is ing clause for question number 2. And then Nicola opened the door carefully, and then we have to choose which one. We have to choose she was trying not to make a noise because she opened the door carefully. She doesn't want to make a noise. So we have to choose this one here. So we have Nicola opened the door carefully, trying not to make a noise. This is the question number 3. And then number 4, we have Sarah went out. Sarah went out. And then which one? We have to use she said she would be back in an hour. She went out and then she will come back in an hour. So Sarah went out. Sarah went out saying she would be back in an hour. This is number 4. And then number 5, we have Lisa worked in Rome for 2 years. So the first sentence, we just write exactly like we see. Lisa worked in Rome for 2 years. And we have to match with what did she do in Rome? She was teaching English. So then we combine together. Lisa worked in Rome for 2 years teaching English. Teaching English. That's it. And the last one we have to write Anna walked around the town. And we have to match with she looked at the size and took pictures. It become looking at the size, ing clause, looking at the site, and took become taking pictures. Because we have looking here, it need to be similar form of verb, right? So we have to use taking. I write pictures here, pictures. Anna walked around the town looking at the signs and taking pictures. So I hope you understand this exercise. That's it for the first one. Now let's do one more exercise. Complete the sentences using having plus a suitable verb. I just remind you that when one action happens before something else, we use having done for the first action. Like the example, having finished her work, Catherine left the office and went home. So Catherine finished work first and then she left the office and went home later. So number 2, we have our tickets. We went into the theater and took our seats. So which suitable verb you think we have to use with tickets? So we have to buy the ticket first and then we went into the theater and we get our seats, we took our seats. So we know that we have to use verb to buy, right? And then we have to write having bought plus past participle of verb to buy. It's become having bought our tickets. Now let's have a look at question 3. The problem, I think we will be able to find a solution. Something about problem, I think we will be able to find a solution. So I think we have to talk, we have to discuss the problem first, and then we will be able to find a solution for that problem, right? We have to use having discussed the problem. It's flexible if you can think about any other verb but fit with the noun problem is okay. But the idea is I just want you to understand how to use the structure having plus past participle, to say or to tell that one action happens before something else. So like I said, we can use having discussed the problem. Having discussed the problem, I think we will be able to find a solution. And then number 4, he was hungry. Joe now says he doesn't want to eat anything. So he was hungry, but now he doesn't want to eat anything. Maybe we can say something like having said he was hungry. Having said. Said come from verb to say. Said is the past participle of verb to say. Then number 5, having something his job recently, James is now unemployed. So something about his job at the moment recently, James is now unemployed. He doesn't have job anymore. So we have to use verb lost his job recently. We can use having lost. Having lost come from verb to lose, right? Or we can use the verb to give up as well. Having give up his job recently, to give up, become given up. To give, it is the verb infinitive. Given is past participle. These kind of verbs are the irregular verbs, so we have to see a lot, or you need to read a lot, and then you're gonna be more familiar with these irregular verbs. And then the last one, number 6. Most of his life in London, Sam has now gone to live in a small village in the country. So we can use spend his life in London. It become having spent participle, or we can use verb to live for. Having lived for most of his life in London. Having spent most of his life in London, or having lived for. You have to have preposition for as well after verb to live. Lived for most of his life in London. Now Sam has gone to live in a small village in the country. I hope you understand all the exercises that we done together. If you still have any other question, feel free to comment down below, and then I will get back to you as soon as possible. PTE Ultimate Guide to Score 79 Plus. It took me 4 consecutive attempts to get my desired score of 79 plus in all the 4 sections in order to apply for Australian permanent residency. I have been through the painful experience that I will never forget, and I don't want you to experience it. With my painful and also wonderful experience after taking PTE exam for 4 times, I was able to create the PTE Ultimate Guide to Score 79 Plus. In this guide, I am going to share literally everything about PTE exam, all my secrets, some preparation steps, or tips and tricks that helped me crack the exam. I will be explaining each and every task, in total 20 tasks, in 4 sections with the marking criteria, the strategy, or the easy templates that I used in the real exam, and things you need to be careful. You just need to read this guide and go implement it. This is the best thing that I can give to you. This guide is very in-depth, packed with useful tips and tricks, and of course, it will help you to get your desired score as quickly as possible as soon as you take action. It's definitely worth your time, no fluff, straight to the point. The main reason I decided to create this guide for you is mainly because I think if we practice enough and smart, you don't deserve to take PTE exam more than 2 attempts to get your desired score. I don't want you to waste your time, money, and energy again and again. If you want to download this guide, you just need to check the link down below in the video description box.